Let's talk about Batman the White Knight. There has been a lot of hype around this book, and the reason why is because it promises to be very political. So, the question is, folks, is it a bunch of SJW nonsense? Is it a bunch of SJW identity politics? Fuck no. This book is good. And if you're not reading it, you seriously need to pick it up. Now, I do have to bring up Marvel really quickly before we get into this. Because a lot of the Marvel creators that go, oh, politics has always been a part of Marvel. Well, you know what? The next time some dumb motherfucker says that to you, I want you to take this book and start beating them with it and saying, this is how you do politics right in a comic book. Now, before we start traipsing down the wrong path here, folks, I want to mention that I'm not talking literal, but metaphorically beating them over the head with this book. This should be the example of how politics are conveyed in a comic book in such a way that it presents more than one side. Because that's what it does. It shows you two sides of an argument. Imagine that. I also want to point out that Marvel had to dig up Stan Lee to get him to talk about how Marvel doesn't condone racism, bigotry, bullying, blah, blah, blah. Stuff that Stan Lee has actually said before. So if you were... Now, part of me thinks that the reason why Stan did this is for an internal memo for people who work at Marvel Comics. Yes, I'm looking at you, Dan Slott. Marvel Comics, Dan Slott, does not condone bullying or bigotry. Just thought you should know that. Okay? Now think about that, Dan, the next time you get on Twitter. Alright, rant over, so let's talk about this cover. It's pretty cool, actually. When I first saw it, I thought that was supposed to be Bruce Wayne, but that is actually Jack Napier, and I'm assuming Harley Quinn at his side. It's pretty cool. The artwork in this book is actually really good. I like it. So, this issue opens up with the Batmobile rolling into Arkham Asylum. But it actually turns out it's not the individual we were expecting. It's not Batman. It's somebody else. And in fact, it is the former Joker himself, Jack Napier. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is that Jack Napier is originally from the Batman movie. Now, I think there has been references to his name being Jack in other media. I want to say that he was also referred to Jack in The Killing Joke, too. I guess I could probably look that up. The book is around here somewhere. As you can see, the roles have been reversed here. We have Batman is the one who is actually locked up in Arkham Asylum, and he is being visited by the Joker instead. So the Joker shows up and he's like, hey, Batman, I need your help. So we flash back to a year ago when shit went down and things went topsy-turvy. Batman is pursuing the Joker throughout town. He's being very reckless. He's jumping this drawbridge. He ends up going over roofs of houses and buildings, and like I said, he's being really reckless. And Batman is really wreaking holy hell going after the Joker. He is being very reckless. And this is where things begin to get really interesting with this book. Specifically with Joker's dialogue. He's talking about how they are in a relationship. We're a team, Bats. Admit it. That's our dynamic. All that's missing is the makeup sex. Yeah. I don't expect you to acknowledge it. You are, after all, a disaster. And I'm the overly complicated one. Whereas Batman's like, yeah, whatever, dude, you're fucking deluded. And what's that? You don't matter to me. You don't matter to Gotham. You don't matter to anyone. And this is where things get interesting, folks. Ouch. Cards on the table, huh? Is this the part where we get to be completely honest with each other? Because I don't have to hold back. It's like you've never been holding back. And boy, is he wrong here. After all these years, you have no idea what I'm capable of. I could have beaten you at any point. Turn the city completely against you whenever I wanted. But I chose to hold back, giving you only what you could handle because I didn't want to wreck what we had. Admit it. I gave you Gotham City. This corrupt war zone is the home we created together.
The only reason Gotham allows you to exist is because they are terrified of me. Admit it.
Finished?
I'm the only one who really knows you, Batman. Your vigilantism isn't about justice. It's about control, fixing the city in your pathetic way of salvaging the broken bits of your anima. But you're too stupid to see that it hasn't worked. Crime has become your therapy, and Gotham your victim. You've dragged us into your own perpetual Halloween.
Enough.
Admit it, you can't even build a family because the very thought terrifies you. How many innocent children will you ruin with your nightmare?
Shut up.
Is that Nightwing or Robin?
I've lost track because they keep disappearing.
Enough! Even Gordon is fed up watching his men turn into cannon fodder on the front lines of the war they didn't ask for. It's all falling apart. You are incapable of stopping it. Admit it. Face it. The greatest villain in Gotham City is you.
So when I heard that they were planning on kind of making Batman the villain in this story, I was like, oh, great. I thought either this was going to be really fucking good or some total SJW trash. And I'm so glad I was wrong. It's not SJW trash. I mean, this is the Joker holding a mirror in front of Batman and saying, take a good look at yourself. And while Batman is trouncing the fuck out of the Joker's like, hey, the reason why I lured you here is because of these pills. And the Joker's like, if I take these pills and they cure me, I can save Gotham. I can do the very thing you can't do. So Batman loses his cool and starts shoving the pills down Joker's throat. And all this time, somebody is recording what is going on. My suspicions is that this is Harley Quinn. But I'm pretty sure all this is part of Joker's plan. And as you can see, the brutality of what is going on, Batman has crossed the line. And there's video evidence, and the police are standing around doing nothing. And this is where some of the current politics come in, and talking about the whole thing with police brutality. And the fact that nobody does anything makes the police culpable. This is where things kind of get political because you have these pundits talking about what happened. The video was released on the internet, it goes viral, and it is very, very damning. And you have the two sides of the argument. You have the one side saying Batman crossed the line, and you have the other one saying, well, it's the Joker, and the Joker is a terrible person, and he kind of deserves it. And you see this rift beginning to form between the police. You have Harvey Bullock, who wants to have Batman arrested. And of course, you have Gordon sticking up for him. And it's a big fucking mess. There is no black and white here. There is a lot of gray. And that's what makes a political story good. One thing that makes a story good is when you have a villain you can relate to. Yeah, they are doing the wrong thing, but you can kind of relate to why they're doing it. And that's what you have here. And people start sympathizing with the Joker. I mean, the guy was brutalized. So while the Joker's in the coma, he has this fever dream. You get some snippets from the past when he was a normal person, and then becoming the terror known as the Joker. You have Harley covered in blood. And at the end he's wrestling with his demons. And when he wakes up, and this is done very well with all the different, Batman memorabilia. You have Lego minifigs of both Batman and the Joker and the various toys. I mean, there are hints of things from, Batman the Animated Series. I mean, this page is beautiful and very well done. Even the Batman the Animated Series poster behind Napier. This is so good. And you also get these really human moments as Barbara and Dick are trying to talk to Bruce and find out what is wrong. And he tells them that Alfred is dying and he doesn't know why. And he has him on life support. And this shows you the fact that these heroes have to work for things. It's not being handed to them. There is some serious pathos in this book. And Joker's dialogue is so good. When I was young, I loved Gotham. Intriguing place full of energy, the center of the universe. At least that's what they told me before I ran away. It was a lie. Gotham was just boring as the farm. So I tried to spice it up, tried to make him laugh. But I sucked at comedy, just couldn't connect. You can't elicit emotion out of people in a city gone numb. Gotham needs to be awakened. If not with humor, then with something more potent. Terror. So I turned to crime. Managed to get quite a rise out of them. And then you came along. Woke them in a way I never could. I had to know you. Anything to be with you, even if it meant being your nemesis. At least we were close. Give me a chance to know you like no other. You hated me. And I loved it, because love and hate are the same. But now it's over. It was over long ago. I just didn't want to admit it. And now I'm forced to ask myself, what happened? Did you change? Or did I ever really know you at all? So Gordon's being chewed out by the mayor, and they're talking about the whole situation with Batman and how police are losing their credibility and how they're just as corrupt by relying on a vigilante. And then Leslie Tompkins shows up with some very, very bad news. The Joker is fine. He has recovered. There has been plastic surgery to repair the damage done by Batman. But you find out the Joker is 100% cured. And one of the side effects is that it has made him very, very smart. Now, he's been spending a lot of time in Arkham's library doing research for his case. He's going to file charges against GCPD, Batman, and the city of Gotham. So Gordon and Bullock go and see him, and he basically lays out the case. One thing I think is really cool here is while he's sitting down, he goes and picks the lock on the cuffs and goes to talk to them, and he lays out his case here. And it is damning. He points out that he's tired of taking the rap for Batman, the fact that he's been driving an unlicensed weaponized tank all over Gotham City, and that Batman has injured people at the construction site while he was pursuing him, and the fact that he forced down an experimental drug, not knowing the effects, down his throat, to the point where he stopped breathing. And the most damning evidence of all is when he links Batman to the GCPD because of the bat signal on the roof. And they are fucked. This is where we close the book out. I love Gotham, and it's time I paid her back for the debt I owe as the Joker. The city deserves better than you. Better than the Joker, and better than the Dark Knight. So I'm going to be her White Knight. Take a good fucking look, Marvel. This is how you do it. This book is good. It is like an old noir detective story filled with flawed people. I mean, seriously, that's it. That's all I have, man. I really can't find anything to make fun of. I really enjoyed this story, and I highly recommend it. Go out and buy it. It is good. So good, in fact, I grabbed the last copy at my local comic book store. And DC has been selling out lots of books. Meanwhile, there are fat stacks of Marvel still on the shelves. So good job, DC. Thank you for doing such a kick-ass job. Keep up the good work. And Marvel, maybe you can learn something from this. So if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Hit that bell for notifications so you can keep tabs on my videos when I release them. Also, I do want to point out I do have a backup channel on VidMe. I always include a link in the description. Click that subscribe button if you can tolerate the sound of my voice. And I've also discovered the annotation feature. I mean, I've known it's always been there. Now I'm just kind of killing time so I can have other videos show up. So if you enjoyed this video, you can check out some of my other reviews. That's all I have for tonight, folks. Hopefully I'll be getting another video tomorrow. So until next time, enjoy your reads.